Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts after seeing a few episodes of Game of Thrones Season 5. Can't help but notice that the TV series is starting to differ what seems to be more and more from the original story, the original books, A Song of Ice and Fire. Okay, so I wanted to do a video talking about this one and giving my thoughts on this. Now, this is something we've touched on in the past briefly, and spoiler warning if you haven't seen, at least a few episodes in the Season 5, at least the premiere. What I'll do is I'll keep it spoiler-free past the premiere of Season 5, and I'll just speak very generally. So, for anyone who's read A Song of Ice and Fire, or even parts of it, not necessarily all the way through, of course, with the TV series, they're coming up on the issue where the TV series is actually catching up to the books. It seems that George R. Martin, he's taking a while with the last two, right? With the last two books, and he says he's working hard on them. He's trying to get them done as soon as possible and all that. But it seems like Game of Thrones, the TV series, is actually going to catch up to where it's at. And obviously with the TV series, we've had certain focus on certain characters. So as we've seen this season, more so from the first few seasons, like in the beginning of Game of Thrones and the first few seasons through, yes, there are some changes between the TV series and the books. But it seems to be, to me anyway, starting in Season 5 and after seeing the first few episodes, they're straying more and more away from the original story all the time. Like I feel like Season 5 strays more away from the original story than any of the previous seasons. And it seems like that's probably going to just get, become more and more as we go through. So it really does interest me quite a bit with the show, and I wanted to give my thoughts on how I feel about that with the TV series being a lot different than the the original story from A Song of Ice and Fire. And overall, I want to say that I do like it. I think it's good. I think the more that they stray away with the TV series, they make it different than the original novels, the original story. It just makes it more exciting because then viewers of the show really don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen next. Things happen differently, and the story seems to be going differently, and it almost looks like they're going to end it differently, based on what's happening with certain characters, where certain characters are going, and what's happening with them is a lot different. Now, it could just be them kind of adding extra things in, to the story and kind of, finding a different way to space it out based on some of the events that we don't necessarily know are going to happen yet because those books haven't been released. But it looks to me like they may be actually kind of condensing other parts too. Like they may just be kind of, reorganizing it for the TV series to kind of tell a little bit of a different story going through to the end, which I do like. I want to say that. So as we go through the series, as we go further and further into later seasons after Season 5, it'll be interesting to see, how everything shakes down, how they decide to wrap it up and everything, and, whether or not A Song of Ice and Fire will have the same ending as Game of Thrones. But I do think that Game of Thrones, its ending should be different, and the story, at least at the end, should be different. And I've talked about this before in videos we've done, talking about comparisons between Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. And I've always said that one thing I like a lot about The Walking Dead is that the TV series is a lot different from the original comic books. And it just makes it better because then you have this sense of, not being able to predict what's going to happen next. And Game of Thrones is one of the most unpredictable stories, or A Song of Ice and Fire is one of the most unpredictable stories you could ever read in your life, right? It probably, for me, it is probably the most. And the TV series, the one thing is like, what's going to happen next. Because of how it's been laid out originally. If you've read the books and you're then watching the show, and it's not as original as a result. It's not as good as a result. So just kind of wanted to do a quick little video, giving my thoughts on the idea, and they seemingly going their own direction, straying away from it quite a bit. They may need to, because they may not have all the material, right, yet. I'm not sure if George R. R. Martin has signed any kind of a deal to give HBO the script or give them. I've heard that he's met with the creators of the show. He's met with the the showrunners and that because I think they have a couple for Game of Thrones, such a big show. To kind of sort it out and figure out what's going to happen, so they can kind of write the episodes and decide what they're going to do. But yeah, it seems to be straying more and more away from the original story all the time. And I like it. I think it's good. I think they should continue to do it. And I think to finish up the series, they should go their own route, because the story is there. If you want to go read A Song of Ice and Fire, it's there. You can do that, right? The TV series version can be its own unique telling of the story. And, it's not too late for them to start kind of interpreting it their own way and changing things their own way. And the pacing of Season 5 has just been pretty insane so far, with things happening so quickly. It's pretty crazy. So let me know what you guys think about Game of Thrones, and it differentiating itself from A Song of Ice and Fire, it going its own way, having different character deaths even, and different story, and different characters getting together, and different concentration on characters that in the original Song of Ice and Fire weren't really focused on very much, or different characters not from the same point of view, not telling the same type of story, maybe omitting some characters, as we've seen as well too. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I think it's an interesting topic. I like it for the most part, because it has to be a TV series is a different animal than a novel. The novels have so much going on, and so many other characters and so many other things that they may have to really condense it and be picky and choosy of what they include. Anyway, so that's all I got to say about this one. If you guys like the video, please thumb it up below, write your comments below on what you think, whether or not you want it to be exactly the same, or you like them kind of going their own way with it and changing a lot of things. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, bottom left, you click that button to subscribe. That's it for this video. See you guys for the next one. As always, it's Trev, saying peace. See you guys.